I'm in France, so I have to do my jacket up. I wouldn't need for you. Philippe, Frederic, my friends, it's a real privilege to be here. Back in Paris again, this wonderful city, this wonderful country, France, the beating heart of Europe. Look, we all are facing an enormous question this June. And perhaps the most frightening thing about the question that we need to ask ourselves is that most people in France and all over Europe don't even know how much unaccountable power is now being exercised by Brussels. So let me be very specific. Know this. Approximately 80% of all laws in France, Britain, Germany, Latvia, wherever you go in Europe, approximately 80% of laws now come from Brussels, which is one of the few places in the developed world where you have to be unelected to initiate policy. If this constitution that you already said no to, which is disguised now and called the Lisbon Treaty very misleadingly, if this constitution goes through, you will have a new president. As European citizens, separate from your French citizenship, you will have a president of Europe that never has to ask you for a vote. They will speak for all of you on the global stage, but they will never have to ask you for a mandate. Article 48 of this constitution, this treaty, states, it means that they never will have to hold a referendum in Europe ever again. The small remaining bit of power that you have as a citizen can be taken away from you under the powers granted to this political elite through Article 48. If this goes through, Europe will be a post-democracy. Millions of people shed their blood across Europe and in France to ensure that the freedom of people, the right of people to hold those that rule them accountable at a ballot box, that is something precious to all of us in France, Ireland, Germany, and everywhere else in Europe. Let's remember, it's what has prevented conflict in Europe. It is what has given us security and relative prosperity like we've never seen before in history. Democracy. 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 We can't say it enough. This is the issue, my friends. It's about democracy. Because whatever you believe, whatever form you think Europe should take, wherever you see France's place as one of the great nations of Europe, if you cannot have your voice heard at the ballot box, you are nothing. These elites in Brussels have silenced the voice of the French people. You voted no in a referendum on the Constitution and they ignored you completely. They didn't change anything, just the label. The Dutch people said the same thing. They sent the same message to these anti-democratic elites in Brussels. And the Irish people did the same. And what did these elites in Brussels say to all of us? They pointed us. The people of France, the people of Netherlands, the people of Ireland, And they have the arrogance to say, there's something wrong with you all. You don't get it. You're too ignorant. You're not European. There's something wrong with you. And what Libertas is saying to them in June is it's giving you the opportunity to send a strong message that these elites cannot ignore. Tell them, no, actually, there's something wrong with you. Listen to us. Listen to what we're saying. If you don't like it, listen harder. Because the definition of European values, one of the primary definitions, is we value democracy. We listen to the voice of the people. We respect the individual. And France, as one of the keystones of Europe, has an enormous and historic part to play this June. The French people have a real choice. You may not even agree on every little issue, but you have a choice. Challenge these elites. Do it in a constructive and positive way. Say, we want a new dawn for Europe. We want a Europe that respects the voice and the needs and the concerns and the hopes of the people of France and the people of all of the countries of Europe. Send them that message by voting for a Libertas candidate in the European elections. Vote in the European elections. Even if you don't vote for Libertas, vote. Have your voice heard. People turnout in the European elections all over Europe has collapsed because people have lost confidence. People have lost hope. They don't respect a Brussels that does not respect them. And it's clear that they don't respect them right now. Let's change that. I'm an optimist. I'm an Irishman. I'm a European. I believe Europe is capable of a new renaissance. I believe France will be and must be at the heart of that renaissance. But we have to have the ambition, the audacity to recognize that we can lead the world. That the energy, the creativity, the uniqueness of the French people has a massive contribution to make to Europe and to the world, and of course to France. But that can only happen if we have a union that listens to the voice of the people. We need to fix this, my friends, and we need to fix it now. Because if this constitution, this current treaty that they're calling the Lisbon Treaty right now, if it goes through, you can forget about ever having your voice heard in Brussels ever again. If they can treat with contempt the voices of millions of Europeans from France, from the Netherlands, from Ireland, if they can deny the people of Britain a referendum, or the people of Portugal a referendum, where those referendums were promised, if they can do that, they can do anything. Do not surrender your power as an individual to these unelected elites, because they will never give it back to you. Send them a message. In June, vote for Libertas. Vote for New Hope. Vote for democracy. Vote for France. Thank you.